Imagine retiring without a penny to your name, watching your neighbors put up for sale signs, feeling like the world is moving on without you. Now, what if I told you a man in that exact position went on to buy not one, not five, but 50 rental homes, all starting with zero savings in the bank? It sounds completely impossible, right? Like something out of a financial fairy tale. But today, I am going to show you exactly how one retiree turned an empty bank account into a massive property empire. This isn't just a story, it's a blueprint. Let's meet Robert. His story isn't one of silver spoons or lucky breaks. He spent his entire life working a modest job, the kind where you live paycheck to paycheck, always just getting by. He never inherited a fortune, he didn't win the lottery, and there was no rich uncle in the picture. When retirement came, his savings account was practically empty. Most people in his shoes would have given up, resigned to a future of just scraping by, but Robert wasn't most people. He had something more valuable than money, unbreakable determination and a plan so smart it could change everything. He looked at his empty pockets not as an obstacle, but as a challenge to be outsmarted. So how did he do it? How do you buy property when you have no money for a down payment? The answer is, you don't play by the old rules. Robert didn't walk into a bank asking for a loan he knew he couldn't get. Instead, he dove into the world of creative financing. He became an expert in strategies that most people have never even heard of. His primary tools were lease options, seller financing, and strategic partnerships. Essentially, he learned how to use other people's money and other people's assets to build his own wealth. With a lease option, he could control a property without owning it. With seller financing, the owner of the house becomes the bank. And with partnerships, he could bring in people who had the cash but not the time or the know-how. He was leveraging other people's resources to acquire properties without spending a single dollar of his own. His very first deal was the one that proved his theory could work in the real world. He found a modest rental home, a simple property that wasn't getting much attention. The owner was motivated to sell and tired of being a landlord. Robert didn't offer cash. Instead, he presented a creative deal structure. He negotiated a seller-financed arrangement, meaning the owner agreed to let Robert pay him over time, just like a mortgage, but without needing a bank's approval. The best part, it required zero down payment. Everyone around him thought he was crazy. How can you buy a house with no money? They asked. But by negotiating smartly and showing the seller how the deal benefited them, he made it happen. That one house immediately started generating rental income, which more than covered his payments to the seller. That first trickle of cash flow wasn't just money. It was proof. It was his stepping stone. Once he had the formula, it was time to scale. Robert didn't take that first bit of profit and go on vacation. He saw it as fuel for his engine. He repeated the exact same method, finding another motivated seller, structuring another creative deal. Then another and another. He was a master of the rinse and repeat cycle. With each new property, his monthly cash flow grew. He then used that growing income and the equity in his new properties as leverage for the next deal. One house turned into two, two into four, and the snowball started rolling downhill, getting bigger and faster with every rotation. Within 10 years, a decade of relentless focus and smart execution, Robert had gone from 0 properties to a portfolio of 50 rental homes. All of it, every single door, started from that initial position of having absolutely nothing. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where the story gets truly incredible. By the time he was done acquiring properties, Robert's portfolio was generating tens of thousands of dollars every single month in passive income. This wasn't money he had to work for anymore. It was money his assets were earning for him while he slept. What began as an empty savings account had transformed into a multi-million-dollar real estate empire. It is a powerful reminder that wealth isn't always about how much money you start with. It's about the strategy you use and the patience you have to see it through. His monthly cash flow gave him financial freedom, and the total value of his portfolio secured his family's future for generations. So, what is the biggest lesson we can take from Robert's incredible journey? It is a simple but profound one. You do not need a fortune to get started in real estate. What you truly need is knowledge, creativity, and the persistence to keep going when others would quit. Robert didn't have capital, so he used strategy. He leveraged other people's money, other people's assets, and other people's problems to build his own wealth. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that in the world of investing, a brilliant strategy will beat a pile of cash every single time. It's not about the resources you have, it's about how resourceful you are. If this story lit a fire in you, if you're wondering what other blueprints exist for building real wealth through property, then you're in the right place. We believe that knowledge is the key that unlocks financial freedom. Want to see more real-world case studies and step-by-step strategies that show you exactly how wealth is built, brick by brick? Subscribe to Property Blueprint today. Let's turn small opportunities into your own property empire together. Thanks for watching.